So this is the disclaimer bit of the video. I'm I am no professional. I do not claim to be a professional. I am someone who likes guitars and likes tinkering with them to do stuff that others don't know how to do and give them my impression on how to do. Do everything in the video at your own risk, I will say, because there's some things on this that aren't done well. Alright, today I'm going to be doing something different, and mind the shadow. Sorry for the shadows, but today I'm going to be working on a scallop and showing you how to do a scallop fretboard. Main reasons for a scallop is generally they're easier to play on for speed, and bends, they're easier to bend on as well. So I'm going to be showing you how to do it in this video. At the moment I'm using a Squire anti-fire guitar that I bought for 50 quid second hand, because I don't want to throw enough money at a scallop that I'm doing by myself. So a cheap guitar neck will do you. Okay. So what is being shown here is the fretboard, showing the scallop, showing the frets before scallop and showing the frets after the scallop that I've done the previous day. This is the rock Dremel I decided to use with an extension piece to make it easier to handle while doing the Dremel itself. These are the bits that I use: a 10mm sander with sandpaper, a 5mm sander, an 80 grit sander bit, buffer and attachment, and rubbing compound. The last piece of equipment I used was a dust mask, just for health and safety reasons. Okay, while working on this I will record in bits because I can't record at the same time while working on this. So, the first thing you want to do is pick the fret you want to work on, which is obvious. So I'm going to work on this one here, which is the 8th fret on the guitar. So, what you want to do is work from one side of it, then if you're doing the same method I am, work from one side, then flip the guitar neck and work from the other side to the other fret. The reason for this is it's generally the Dremel's going to pull to one side of the wood with the way that it's spinning. So it's usually just easier to work with the way that it's pulling to, and then push it back as you're working with it. Okay. So I'm going to record that and then jump back to later to where I actually have that done. Now, this is still the 8th fret because there's the inlay there for the 7th fret. Now, actually hold on. Sorry, I'm actually working on the 10th fret. Oops. So, yeah, so you can see that I've only done one side, and now I'm about to flip it and do the other half of the fretboard. And the scallop itself is quite deep because I actually want a deep scallop. Now, if you want to do an in-vein Malmsteen scallop, this is the type of scallop you'd be doing. You'd be doing it all the way across the fretboard, as shown. But if you want to do a Richie Blackmore scallop, I'll be showing that on the next fret, which will be this one, because he only scallops the treble side of the guitar, so i.e. the high strings. So I'm going to finish this scallop off and then move on to this and show you what it looks like for a Richie Blackmore scallop. So a quick little update while I'm actually working on this. While actually getting through this much of the fret, like the actual wood on this section, you're burn through the sandpaper really quickly. So a good tip would be to buy more than you would think you'd need, because so far doing this whole scallop this far and these 2 frets, I've really went through a lot of sandpaper. I've gone through probably close to 10 or 12 of these ones, and I'll put on I'll write up what size they are when I'm editing. But yeah, you really eat through them. You don't eat through them as much up here because the fret's smaller, so, but up here you really go through them. So I'll be lucky to finish the guitar with the amount I have. Okay. Also, when you're doing this, you want to make sure that the sanding wheel spindle thing, the sandpaper is actually on as tight as it can, because it will slip with the heat. Okay. Now you can see that the full scallop is done on this with this set bit, but there's still a high area right here, so I have to sand that down. and you want to check that the whole fretboard is kind of level along the whole way, that there's no high areas in the frets. It just makes for a nicer finish once you put the finish on it. Okay? I just realised I'm saying okay a lot. Okay. There we go again. So now that I have leveled this section off, and the best way to do that is find where the ridge is with your finger, get your Dremel tool, and then just quickly go back and forth, left and right, and then it will just sand down that peak. So I'm quite happy with how this one turned out. And now to move on to the ninth fret. Another thing about scalloping, hold on, let me focus there. There we go. Another thing about scallop, if your inlays aren't deep enough, you're going to rip them out, like I did here. See how you can tell by the side inlay which fret that this fret should have an inlay. So another way you could fix that is by buying inlays, getting the same size drill bit, drilling into it, and then putting them in, super gluing them in, and that's one way to do it. It's actually the only way if your inlays aren't deep enough. But so far I actually don't like, I like the non-inlay look. So I quite like it, but some people might actually like the inlays to find out what fret they're on. So that's how you will have to buy inlays if your frets start, if your inlays start going. Okay. This is why you have to tighten them tighter than you think, because this actually slipped off while I was sanding, and that it's going to ruin the holder for them, and the sandpaper is not going to sand, but the actual rubber is going to melt and just become unusable for you, so you'll have to buy a new bit. Okay, and I need to change this sandpaper anyway. Okay, next step after finishing your scallop is just tidy up. It kicks up a hell of a lot of dust, hence this, and well, I've got brown smudges from where the mask was. Okay, so next thing is to clean up. Okay, next thing to do would be after cleaning oh, excuse me, after cleaning up the sawdust and everything that has come off the scallop, would be to level the fretboard. So eye up as if you're aiming down it, and make sure that it's completely flat, and adjust the truss rod to make the fretboard level. Then smooth down the frets and polish them off. In the beginning I showed rubbing compound is one of the things that you would use for a scallop. That's if you don't take the frets out and you do it the way I have done it. And another thing is after that, and after the frets are clean, you would want to put lemon oil, which I have done because I'm not going to clean this fretboard and the frets, as you can see there that the high shine areas. So how can I put this? So here, if I can, yeah, right here where my finger's going over, the whiter bits are where the sandpaper hit when I was using the sander. So you'd want to sand down the frets, and then polish them off to make sure that the frets are level. And then after that you will put lemon oil, as which I have done on that. And then after that, it's putting a finish of your choice on it. I'd recommend beeswax because it's a good finish for fretboards and it brings it up nice. Okay, so with the sunlight that just happened to come through there, you can see that these scallops are done more evenly, so they're better rounded than compared to up here, which, if I can get this at the right angle here, yeah, there we go. You can see that it's a very flat edge to it. So for here instance, that's very flat. So that's not what you want. Don't want that with scallop. What you want with scallop is actually what I've done up here, which are, and I need to move this back here, is that all the frets are curved, where the wood in between the frets, but all of them are curved. and you don't want them, any of them, to bottom out like they have up here. That's what you don't want with a scallop. So I do mean do this at your own disclaimer. Do this to your own risk. So I'm actually getting a scallop done on the guitar at the moment, and I just had this neckline about. So when I actually get the body back for this and get the guitar done for this, I'm going to compare them in a video and get someone else to play them and get their reaction and see what they think of what cost me about, say, 20 in sandpaper. Well, not even 20, say 10 in sandpaper, and then 6 in oil. And I'm going to get beeswax to do that neck, that, and that one over there. Let's see if I can focus this. That one, to do all their fretboards, and maybe the neck even on these. But at the moment it's looking well. I'm quite happy with the upper frets and not so much with the lower frets, but gotta deal with them. So this is the disclaimer bit of the video. I am no professional. I do not claim to be a professional. I am someone who likes guitars and likes tinkering with them to do stuff that others don't know how to do, and give them my impression on how to do. Do everything in the video at your own risk, I will say, because there's some things on this that aren't doing well, and I'm going to change to a different camera view to show you.